That's pretty sad and deep, actually. Right. It's like,
Well, good evening to you, Dennis.
well, and a nifty hello to you, brother soul.
I see that you're in a brand new professional sound studio.
Well, it's actually my new, finally finished, all but finished office.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that the fiasco from last week, using a TV stand with floor tiles on it,
Right.
near a ladder with a cardboard box, and to hold the box down, a deer being suckled by its little fawn that weighs about 4 pounds, solid, I don't know what it is, probably mahogany, walnut maybe. Anyway, where were we?
Yes, you're no longer in your Rube Goldberg setup for recording.
Rube Goldberg. That's right.
Where to start recording, we have to start a series of dominoes off that eventually, knocks over the bird, and
so my computer smells like frickin' stale beer. That's
I wonder why.
Why? What'd you do?
As I recall, our last episode was interrupted.
No, it wasn't
accident.
interrupted. It was delayed.
Delayed. Yes, right.
Right.
Yes. So, I mean, that's add some ambiance to your new office.
Yes. So I have a special treat tonight, and it is Smithwick's Red Ale.
Yes. Back to our tradition. Yep.
And it's near my birthday, so I bought myself a case of this beer.
I can't believe you're getting even older.
Compared to what, you? Jesus, you're over 40. I was thinking of you as a kid. Well, you are a kid to me.
Well, I'm pretty immature.
Well, besides that, I mean,
but then
it's just the fact that you barely reached puberty and you're just now coming into some oversexed stage where
yes.
everything that you think about is all filth.
Well, I did just start shaving, so that's
Well, yes, but no one taught you not to shave your eyebrows. It's a little
you're not supposed to do that?
It's a little unsettling.
Because sometimes the cream gets in my eyes and it's just really awkward.
So this man's playing poker with his friends, and he says, "Oh my God," he says, "I can't believe it. My wife cut her eyebrows off, and she painted them way up high on her forehead." And when I told her that, I thought they were too high. She looked surprised.
Dun-dun.
That is funny.
That is a good joke.
That is funny.
Yes. I just less than an hour ago, while I was waiting for your illustrious arrival, I received, I think, my first ever prank phone call.
Really?
Yeah. And it's my cell phone rang, and it said number unknown. And it was this guy in Spanish that's talked with authority that said that, "Hey, I'm the plumber for the apartment under yours, and there's a leak coming from your apartment, and it's like we're gonna have to just tear down all the walls, and it's gonna be so expensive. Did you leave some faucets running or something?"
Is he saying all this to you in Spanish?
Yes, it's all in Spanish.
Yes. Okay.
I'm translating it for our listeners.
Well,
Except for the Uruguayan
Thank you
ones.
for that explanatory note. I just wanted to make certain that I had the image.
Yes. So he's telling me all this, and I'm like, "No, we haven't." He said, "Are you there in your house now?" And I was like, "It's 10:30 at night." But yes. And he said, "Well, is your insurance going to cover this if your house damages another house?" And I said, "I think so." And then around that time, I started thinking, he hasn't said anything specific about my house or anything. So I said, "What apartment are you referring to, where the leak is?" Because if he can actually name the number and letter of the house under mine, then I would take him more seriously. But then it all sort of went silent for 15 seconds or so. No, no. When I started doing that, then he got really belligerent and he said, "Yeah, well, you can't put like towels or tampons or anything down your toilet because then it all backs up and
towels.
I'm the
towels down your toilet.
Yeah. He said,
"Do you do that? You don't do that, do you? Towels?
Not.
I can understand a tampon now and then, but you don't. You don't actually. You do. You do.
Not on the weekends.
I can tell in your face.
Not on the weekends.
You are so busted here.
So
that you flush. What do you wipe your ass with a towel and then try to flush it down the toilet? You are so sick.
I need my
it's
ass.
What happens when
I need my ass towels nicely ironed. We have our because if there's a wrinkle, it's
no fun intended.
It's so uncomfortable. Yes. So anyway, he starts getting more accusatory, and he says, "Yeah, well, I'm the one that's gonna have to come over there and clean up all your shit." And at that point, I was like, "Okay, this is definitely not real." And then the line went silent for about 20 seconds, and I knew enough to just listen. I didn't say anything else, and then a pre-recorded.
You didn't volunteer your Social Security number or your
yes
routing number and your check number from your bank?
Yes, I said, please bill this to Dennis. No, a pre-recorded voice came on and said, "This call was you've been set up by a friend. A friend contacted us and had us call you. If you would like to not let your friend download this file to make fun of you, then you need to send us money."
Oh my God!
And I was like, "That's actually kind of clever."
That's not a prank.
I mean, it's a scam. Yeah,
it's fraud.
Right.
A prank would be.
Is your refrigerator running? Or,
what's the old saw about the? I don't know. Tobacco in the tin. Do you have Do you use tobacco? The answer is yes. Do you have Sir Raleigh in a can? Yes. Well, you'd better let him out.
Wow.
That's a prank. That's a prank.
That's an old one.
It's very old.
That's back when you had to ask the operator to connect you to the person you wanted to prank.
Hello, Ellen. Can you connect me with 0011?
Exactly.
And then you'd crank the phone. Hey, I remember when we used to go out on the porch and just talk to each other, and nobody does that anymore.
What? Yeah.
What?
So that was it. I haven't really ever been a scam victim, although I did have a thing when I lived in England. We had this problem where someone was tapping into our phone line and using it to download ringtones. Ringtones. Because there's a way where you could say, "Hey, I want this ringtone, charge it to my line," or whatever. But we could, when we picked up our landline phone, we could hear someone going through a phone tree and choosing ringtones to download, and then I don't think it started showing up on our bill. And anyway, we got a technician out there, and if someone like up the street had hacked into the wires to do that.
Right. So how much were they going to charge you though for the?
I don't know. I hung up. I should have played along a little bit more.
You should have pressed record. And said, "Tell me more." Right. And say, "I don't know if I got that straight. Will you say that to me again?" And then they tell you, "Say, oh, huh. How do I get in contact with
why
you?"
don't I come down to your offices?
Take a fucking baseball bat.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, guess what I got going on this Saturday? I know you give up.
Playing music.
No. The Irishman at my son-in-law's and daughter's. For my birthday.
For your birthday, they're showing you a movie?
Preceded by my birthday party. And here say the women may go off on their own in the basement and watch their own movie while we men watch The Irishman. And if we could, but we won't because we can't. So we won't smoke cigars, but we would really want to.
Maybe they can watch The Irishwoman.
That's funny. That's the second time tonight you're funny. You broke your record.
Wow.
Of once in a podcast.
Once in a blue moon.
Hey, there's a movie there. Once in a podcast. Could be your mysterious life.
Once
living with all the other podcasters.
Once upon a podcast.
Once upon a podcast. What if
there's a title.
What if the stuff we ended up talking about ended up happening? All the businesses would be a new reality.
Yes.
We'd be so wealthy. One of them would.
We would be prophets, right? we're certainly not making any profits, but we could be PH profits.
We have a patron.
Yeah, well, profit.
We saluted him.
Profit means above your expenses, Dennis. This is why we need people to go to Patreon.com.
I don't have any expenses.
You built a brand new studio, Dennis.
No, this is my office. I just opened my computer and went to Skype. No. I would be drinking this beer no matter what. So all the costs are on your end, bro. You keep that patron. You keep that money.
Okay. I'm trying to appeal to other listeners that might be wondering if we need the money. And you're saying like, nah, man, I just drink my beer on my yacht.
I don't. I'm not saying I'm a yacht. I don't. I'm clearly saying that you do.
The horizon behind you keeps moving back and forth.
You have an amazing amount of costs. And you do a lot of work. I don't do anything.
Exactly. So anyway, if you're enjoying this, patreon.com/happy hour.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Happy hour, what number?
Our current episode is happyhour.fm/036. Perfect. 6 squared. So that's just amazing.
Well, I don't know. So who knows? I saw a bunch of clicks. What did we talk about that interested people last time? Because we should talk about it some more because we got a bunch of clicks. So what was it? What moronic thing did you say, or what?
I think it's really
what insight did I have about you?
I think it's more of a sort of sum total of all the moronic things and insights.
Hey, fuzz your background.
Excuse me?
Fuzz your background.
I beg your pardon? Don't do that just for any person. Let's see. Fuzz my background.
There you go.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was the background.
Now it's like talking to you in 3D. I wish I knew how to do it. How do you do it? How come I can't do it?
Well, this whole setup here there's a fuzz switch that I flip, and then the whole walls.
If you think that I'm stupid enough to believe what you tell me, the only reason I wouldn't believe you is because you laugh when you say it. So I know because you're laughing.
Yes.
That it's not true. But you could tell me anything, and I would say, wow, that's really interesting.
The technology has really improved.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I'm a really bad liar, unfortunately. So I had an interesting thing. I think something I've noticed several times with the website and app known as Facebook. You may have heard of it. It's an up and coming.
I don't use it. I would think it a profound waste of my time.
Yes. Well, it is that, but it's also, then again, you do record these podcasts, so.
I don't believe in modern technology. I think it should be outlawed. I think it's like witch's brew. I think it's like you walk into a room, you walk into a coffee shop, and everybody is doing their technology. Nobody's talking to each other. They're paying with technology. They're talking with technology. You go to a table of 3 people. You say hello. You know these people. And they're all texting. And you wonder, are they texting each other right now instead of talking to each other? And they are. This is getting... So the 3 people sitting at a table, and instead of talking, are texting each other, and sometimes only one of the 2 of them. This is...
Oh, yeah. You're with 2 people, and you're like, is he really wearing that today? To the other person. And you're sending laugh emojis back and forth. And yeah. That's...
Did he get a haircut or just bump his head?
I think that's a common perception of when you see people all sitting there with their phones. But it's certainly... They're not talking... They're not talking to each other unless they're sending them some funny thing sending each other something funny. But I have been, for sure, and not just with young people, with people your age as well. Which would be what? How would you characterize me? Old people? Well, not young. That's for sure.
Sorry, my mask fell down.
I can see your horrible face. Oh no. Yeah. So they do. It's the height of professional.
Well,
it's
a new space. I'm still getting used to it. Got it. But I'm going to tell you something.
You're lost in space.
I'm in my office chair, which is a comfortable, professional, rocking type black leather office chair. Whereas for the past many, many weeks, I've been sitting in dining room chairs, flat backs and flat seats, and putting a couple pillows on it, and that's why I spill shit, because I'm so awkwardly sitting in this setup. And now, man, I'm in seventh heaven. I've got an L-shaped desk here. I've got stuff set up, ready to go. Lots of room. Good light. How's the light?
Pretty good.
You want it brighter or not bright? Not so bright.
You're just fine. And
I wonder if our listeners would chime in.
Yeah, they're squinting with the brightness.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they squints? You're a squint.
What? What you talking about?
You're a squint.
What?
Scientist.
Describe that.
A scientist.
A squint is a scientist.
Yeah.
Ah. I'm glad it. Fair. Okay. Good. I forget what I was saying. Yeah.
You've never been called a squint before. Set you back. You're back in your heels. Wondering.
Okay. So about Facebook.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of people that believe that Facebook is using people's phones to listen to them when they don't want them to be, where your phone is on you at all times, or it's in the room. And there are so many stories of people saying, "Hey, I was having a private conversation with someone, and we were talking about this new kind of shoes or something, or some product. We're talking about Tupperware, and then the next day I went on Facebook, and there was an ad for that particular brand of thing. So clearly, the only reason this could happen is because they were listening to me. But
Or what do you mean listening? You mean not listening? You don't mean listening.
They mean
tracking.
Tracking.
They're monitoring.
They mean with the mic in your phone, using some algorithm to parse all of your words, learn the products that you're talking about, and then advertising those to you is what people mean. They're wrong. This is a conspiracy. This is BS, because the tech isn't there for that. And also, at least on iPhones, Apple for sure does not let an app use the mic unless you're using the app and specifically request it to. But it is. I mean, it's all sort of this sort of confirmation bias where you notice coincidences. It's like how people think that it's really weird that a 1 in a million thing would happen, but if you talk about how many people there are just in the U.S., for example, a 1 in a million thing is happening to quite a few people every day.
Yeah, right,
so
right.
People don't understand probability well. But that said, and there's a podcast episode that I will link in the show notes about this by a great podcast called Reply All. So everyone go check that out at happyhour.fm/036. But one thing that Facebook does do, and I've seen this several times, and it could be the same confirmation bias that I'm suffering from, but I really don't think so, is that whenever I go and have a meal or something with some people, with some friends and some of their friends, and I'm Facebook friends with a couple of the people that are there, but not with everybody there. Later the next week, Facebook will come and recommend, say
those people
that aren't yet my friends, but
facial recognition.
No, it's not that.
No?
My prediction is that Facebook saw that their phone was next to my phone for several hours. because what they are looking at is where your device is, especially if you open the app while you're there.
That's chilling.
And if you post a photo from the event, even if it doesn't have the other people in it, it knows that you and the other person were at the same place.
So they create an algorithm that recognizes that and then spits out data, which ends up creating communication signals to you.
Right, and then it says, "Hey, why don't you friend Joe?
Right.
You've got two mutual friends.
All electronic.
Yeah. No human did anything there with that logic, which is really pretty clever because, like, Facebook can know the first time that two people met. Right, because if they know where your phone is at all times, they can. Yeah,
you're weirding me out.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of fun. And the other interesting thing about Facebook is that they're tracking you too, even though you don't use Facebook.
Right.
Because when your friends install the app on their phone, and Facebook,
I'm installed. I just don't use it.
Well, even if you aren't installed. If when your friends install your Facebook on their phones, Facebook says, "Hey, can we have a quick look at your contacts to see if we can figure out who your friends are, so we can get you up and running quickly?" And so then they know all the people, they know all the Facebook users that know you, and they know where they are in the world, and they can deduce that if Tommy knows you and Sally knows you, and they live in the same city, and sometimes are in the same places. That they can recommend, which is just wild.
That's crazy.
And it's not strictly. I mean, you can go and turn off location services and stuff, but then you know some of the features that can be useful are worse. But it's really quite chilling to think of all that data that they have collected.
Yeah. Right.
And what they could do with it if they, it's at the moment they're semi-benevolent overlords, but if they ever wanted to actually do something, then they could. Time for new beer? Or did a lamb escape the...
That story you just told me. What do you got? You're drinking a little shot?
Cheers to you.
What is it? What is it? What are you drinking, my lord?
It's a Scotch whiskey.
You're just sipping it just neat, are you?
I'm a neat sipper.
Whoa. It's warm in your heart, boy.
Ooh, it is now, aye.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a fire in my belly.
Well, it's the way you want to feel, boy. It's the way you got to feel.
Aye.
If you want to succeed in the world, you got to have a fire, boy.
Belly fire. Oh, wait, I switched accents.
Belly fire?
Boy, you got a belly fire?
What'd you say? What'd you say? Corn pone?
Corn pone. There's a...
Show notes. Show what it looks like when it's growing. It's good. It's good to eat. Corn pone.
Corn pone.
Not corn porn. Now you got all these ears of corn taking their freaking husks off. That's terrible. Corn porn. Get rid of that image.
Cone porn
is a family show.
That's when the coneheads are making their sex tape. Cone porn.
Cone porn. Dan Aykroyd.
Corn pone, sometimes referred to as Indian pone. It's a type of cornbread made from thick, malleable cornmeal dough, which is usually eggless and milkless. All right. It has been referenced by many American writers, including Mark Twain.
Oh, they didn't mention
the
podcast. Go to Wikipedia and include it.
Oh,
go to Cornpone. Go to Wikipedia. Go to Cornpone, and then type in a reference to this show. You got to look. Okay, you got to do this stuff.
That was like it's 15 seconds ago. You can't. I'll get to that. I'll wiki hack.
Wiki hack.
I don't know. Whoa. Editing the wiki. Oh, that reminds me of something. There is just such a clever idea for a little computer program you can write. There is a Twitter account that tweets every time Wikipedia is edited from an IP address inside the U.S. Capitol.
Oh, my word.
So sometimes, senators will have their staffers, modify their Wikipedia page to do things. And this Twitter account is set up to check for those and tweets out, "Hey, this person changed this other thing," which is really quite funny. I'll have to find that and put it in the show notes.
Yeah, it's been a wild week.
Congress edits. There's a Wikipedia article about the Twitter account. It's called @Congress Edits. It was created in May 2014, and it tweets changes to Wikipedia articles from IP addresses located within the ranges assigned to the U.S. Congress. Wow, good description I just gave. And yeah, it's just a clever idea.
So when it happens, do you take a look?
Sometimes I don't have it set up to like notify me or anything, but
right.
when I see one of those go by in the Twitter fire hose, sometimes I'll check it out.
Yeah, I don't have an alert when a Twitter comes my way either. So if I happen to be in a moment of looking at my menu and see that there's a Twitter, I'll look at it. And it'll be news that I heard 2 days ago. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a Twitter account?
Yeah.
Huh. You want to be followed by our listeners?
I've never typed a thing.
Oh, you don't tweet.
It.
It's a consuming account. Okay.
Well, so far, right.
Well,
what are the rules? So many characters?
Wow.
Or no?
Well, first you have to have an original thought.
That's not necessarily true. I could steal something that nobody heard of before.
Yeah,
that's not true. That's not true.
It used to be 140 characters, and then now they've bumped it up to 280. They've doubled it.
So you just say shit and then tweet it out, and
usually no one reads it. But if you're interesting enough, then people can retweet it. Well, there's 2 ways to appreciate a tweet. You can like it. There's a little heart icon that you can click, and then
nice.
Which is just like a "Hey, good job, buddy. That was funny."
Oh yeah, wow. Here you go, man.
And also you can retweet, which shares that thing with all of the people that follow you. And so, but like what can happen is if the Dennis account tweets something and I'm following you and I retweet it, and then some of the people that follow me think it's funny, and then it gets to some celebrity that has a bunch of followers and they retweet it. That's how things go viral and blow up and happen. But that's super rare.
Yes, given the significant numbers.
Speaking of Twitter, I have a tweet to show you. I will send this to you in our chat channel. This was tweeted on November 27th by our Commander-in-Chief. With no comment.
Wait a minute. Donald Trump body on a pro wrestler. It came from who?
It's Rocky's body.
Rocky's body. It came from who?
Donald Trump tweeted this. He didn't retweet it. Someone sent it to him, and he managed to save it somehow. And then tweeted it as if it was his, because that's how he pictures himself.
And this is how he really looks.
Yeah, and the replies are just fantastic. So I will put that in the show notes. It's a Donald Trump tweeted a picture of Rocky, the fictional boxer, with his head photoshopped on top. So it looks like he's all buff, mean looking dude.
Ooh, Lord, I got to get rid of that.
Yeah, don't close that down. Let's not print that out as a poster and put it on your wall. Yeah, so that's the thing that happened this week.
I'll tell you, I don't know what I think we're in some crazy times with these dual realities of the the president and his Fox News channel on one side of a reality which is driven by their what they think are accurate descriptions of what's happening, and to those of us who are left of that are just amazed that it's happening. I've never seen anything so stark in my 66 years as this is a political divide and chasm that is just so freaking easily divided and dissected and explained. Mm-hmm. It's just it's in this day and age, of being able to quantify and qualify every damn thing that happens. We're very clear.
And it's just amazing that so many people can support just someone that has zero integrity, like just no quality of character whatsoever.
Well, that's why they cheer him. That's why they cheer him, because he, there's a show that we really, if you've not seen it, you should. It's the Political Circus. It's on Showtime, and it's like insights into the biggest circus of our times, which is our politics. You have to get the name of it, but
it's called The Circus: Inside the Greatest Political Show on Earth.
It is so good and funny.
I don't have time for another TV show, though.
It's not a TV show.
It's on Showtime every Sunday.
It's a reality. It's reality TV. It's a documentary. It's a real life TV. It's not a TV show. It's not a comedy or a script. It's a news show.
Right. I just said it's a TV show, and you said it's not a TV show.
It's not.
Okay. So, does it appear on TV?
No. Gotta watch it on your computer.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, it looks like they're on season 4. Wow, there's a lot of episodes.
Yeah, I've seen a good number of them, if not most of them, but these times it gives you some live close-up interviews with people that are in the news, but it does take so much time to get right in direct communication with them in a way that primetime, of course, can't. Mm-hmm. Talk shows don't.
Right. This
is an ongoing documentary, and the 3 interviewers are just stellar. All right. And they show them in these great restaurants in the heartland, like in Iowa, certain famous places, or in Kentucky, mm-hmm. and they're always eating and drinking, and they're having fun. So it's a good thing to watch.
Okay, I will put that in the show notes for anyone who's interested.
Because you certainly aren't.
I might go and look at one episode, and if it grips me, then I'll find some other.
Look at the last one.
It's called Motherfucker of All Midterms.
No.
A special 1-hour finale about the midterms, before, during, and after. This is 2018. Okay, so they haven't done the. Okay. The latest one is called Here Be Dragons. They just haven't done the the description in the Wikipedia.
Yes, you just watch that one.
All right.
Just watch that one, and then we'll talk.
All right, I agree. I agree to those terms. I've been...
Lay down your sword.
Lay...
You agree to those terms, so lay down your sword.
Okay.
Very good. Very good.
I've been watching a TV show recently.
I don't want to talk about TV.
You can't watch it on TV, actually. Funnily enough that you say that. You have to... Well, you can if you have an Apple TV. It's... You know how Apple is starting this streaming service?
Yes.
And they've got a couple of interesting shows. The one that has most gripped me was the one that seemed the most like it was going to be a lighthearted comedy. It's called The Morning Show. It's got Steve Carell, Jennifer Aniston.
I've read quite a bit about it.
Reese Witherspoon.
Several reviews.
And I went into it thinking, oh, this is going to be some light entertainment. It is really, really good. It's really there's some comic moments in it, but it's also very much on point and talking about what the Me Too movement is and has become, and
isn't it a bit of the takeoff from Matt Lauer? And
it is very
Today Show sketch.
It's very very much that.
He's the Matt Lauer character.
Yes,
she's the anchor character. Yes, I read some reviews of. Tell me more, and I'll tell you what I read.
Well, the reviewers I heard were quite mean to it, but they do a really good job of not making everything black and white. There's a lot of gray area there, and one thing that's it's really hard to talk about the Me Too movement and get any sort of nuance in there, because as soon as you say having sex with your secretary is not like, Bill Cosby, people get upset about it and jump down your throat, and people end up having to retract those statements and apologize and stuff like that. But showing that there's any sort of spectrum on this in this concept is sort of a political third rail these days, social third rail that people don't like to touch. And this show is doing a really good job of just walking on that rail. So I'm about 6 episodes in now, and it just keeps getting better and better. And they don't pull any punches, and the characters have depth.
Show notes will reflect this.
I will link to the series in the show notes. You got to be an Apple TV Plus subscriber, which is cheaper than all the other services. It's $5 a month, or free for the first year after you buy an Apple product.
Of what magnitude or cost?
A phone or an iPad or a computer.
Oh, really? For a year?
Yeah.
So that's $60.
Yeah, that's where they're getting. That was a really clever mechanism to boost their immediate subscriber numbers, because a bunch of people ran out to get the new phone and stuff like that. Whereas, okay, I've got somewhere else to go, but tell me what you read in the critics.
Oh, that it was well done, but did not go as deep through characterization as one might have done, as if it was a bit of a missed opportunity without as much depth. And I think that after seeing
that's true of the first couple episodes.
Big Little Lies, which is, without saying this in the review, it had the feeling that was the type of drama that it was comparing to, which was one of the more remarkable series I've ever seen. Well, but they didn't say that comparison, but that's what I thought of in that comparison. They were right, perhaps. I haven't seen it, so, but I that's kind of what I would expect. Is that
the other thing that I've heard it compared to is Aaron Sorkin material, like The West Wing and Newsroom, because he made that TV show about a news office and the drama that goes on in there. But it's not much. It's not like that as much as one would think. It's a different beast.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed that it's holding up so well, given that it's Apple's first attempt at creating original content.
So do you have Netflix?
I do have Netflix. Yes.
So Irishman is out.
Yes.
That's why I'm watching it on Saturday. So we'll have to include that in future episodes. But I can't tell you how excited I am to see these some of the best actors of our time all in one final movie about just absolutely bad choices. And I think everyone is saying it's a masterpiece, which I've seen some masterpieces. Certainly Godfather was.
Right. Well, I also look forward to that. I'll have to carve out some time somewhere.
Yeah, well, yeah, like half a day. Right? It's almost 4 hours.
Is it really?
It's like you can play like a round of golf.
Wow.
It's pushing for 3 something, I think.
All right, well.
So what's in your little sipper there, my man?
Didn't we just go over this?
No, but you didn't tell me what kind.
I don't recall the brand at the moment. It's from it's from that island.
I figured you'd have the bottle right there with you.
No.
And you could just read it.
No.
You don't have to run down to the kitchen or anything and check it out. I mean, it's all right.
Well, we will leave it as a mystery.
A mystery.
Wrapped in a riddle.
A riddle.
Stuffed in a conundrum.
A conundrum.
It's a Turducken of unknown knowledge.
Oh, Turducken is unknown knowledge.
That could be a title right there.
Whatever the fuck that means.
Yes.
Oh man.
How's your?
I am so happy to be in this room, bro. I tell you, I have my. I have the painting that Katie did of the iconic Gibson guitar smokestack in Kalamazoo.
Mm-hmm.
Which was recently renovated, brick by brick, and rebuilt. And in her painting, she has that as a neck of a Gibson guitar. Set against a nightscapey, bright, whitish blue. It's just fabulous. So I get to look at that. As opposed to, and I'm in this comfy chair, as opposed to, oh my God, crawling over the bed to get out of the room. Whew. No more. No more, I say.
Speaking of electric guitars, I have some interesting news. I've decided to purchase an electric guitar.
Oh, have you?
Yes. I had one when I was a teenager. I had a little Fender Squire that I got at the local pawn shop or something. But I realized that a lot of the times when I feel like I would like to play my guitar is at night when my family's asleep, and so I can't play my acoustic. So I thought, well, I could get a solid body electric that doesn't make any noise when you're hitting it, and then plug in my headphones to an amp. And so I consulted our mutual guitar nerd Phil, and said, "Hey, this is about how much I want to spend. What would you recommend?"
Yeah.
And he came back pretty much with what I was already looking into, which is a Fender Telecaster. And and I looked around and I was like, I don't know if I'm willing to put that much money into a thing that I'm not 100% sure I'm actually going to put the effort into. Maybe I should get a cheaper one, and then if I do find myself using it, then I can get a nicer one. And he wrote back and he said, look, get a Mexican Telecaster. It's cheaper than the American-made ones, and they're really good quality. And shut up, you're not that poor. Get a good one, because a lot of times having. He said a good way to make someone stop learning an instrument is to give them a bad instrument.
Isn't that smart?
Right. So that's sort of why. So anyway, I found one on the eBay. First time I've logged into eBay in 25 years.
No kidding.
And it's on order. It's being shipped. You bringing
it to the annual coast?
I don't think so. That's a big ask, but
is it because of the travel?
Yeah, the travel's
because you would have to take two. You wouldn't just bring that instead of your folk guitar.
No, the acoustic that I normally play lives in the States. That's not mine. That lives in my father's house. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So no. So maybe we'll see where that goes. But I had to. There was one other guy that was bidding it up as we were going, because that's the way eBay works. And I set a timer and placed the final bid with 5 seconds left. And
got it.
That's
exciting.
Not too expensive, but
you
not
should
that
tell
cheap
our
either.
listeners what it costs.
It came out to I bought it off of a Brit, and so the auction was in pounds. It was in dollars. It came out to be about $600.
You know what I thought?
What do you think?
$600.
Yeah, well, that's the right amount to do,
yeah.
And which is why we need people to go to patreon.com/happyhour
yeah.
to donate.
Pay for your damn guitar.
So maybe we can get some other licks in the show. So
Well,
I'm excited about that.
There's a call to arms apparently for us to play in a live gig when we go to the shore.
I heard that.
That's the.
We're gonna need to put in a little practice time.
Well,
at least
either that or
iron
just,
out, or just do what we always do and
just recognize. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I wouldn't get too concerned about it, but the thing is that there's no such thing as a song that lasts anything less than 6 to 8 minutes.
Well, yeah, because we're a jam band.
Yeah, that's right. And the night progresses as it would. But the difficulty is that if when you're doing that, if there's people there who don't sing very good or don't keep a good beat, then there's not much you can do about it. Whereas when you're playing in your apartment, it doesn't matter a bit. But when you're out in public, it would matter somewhat.
Yeah, the question is...
Because people wouldn't like it.
How much more is that somewhat... Well, are the other patrons going to go up to their waitress and say, can you have these people stop playing? Maybe.
No, they'll just leave.
They just leave, and then it'll cost the bar money, yeah. Well. Oh, well. It's not like we want to get invited back the next weekend.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And after, 2 years, they're not going to.
Well, the other thing you could do in a place like that is that when there's so much drinking going on, is go ahead and ask some people who are out in the audience to join in the show. And what I've done in a few times back in the day was, if I would see tables of people where you often see this, there might be two women and a couple of guys, but the two women are kind of sitting, dancing, right? And the two men are like, there's no way I'm going to dance. And the women know there's no way the guys are going to dance. But let's say there's several tables that's like that. Well, if you play a particular song that everybody knows, you can ask those women to come up and sing the chorus. And they'll dance, and they'll jump up.
They'll be fine with "You're my brown-eyed girl." Yeah, sure.
Right, and a doo-wop or whatever.
Yes.
And if you say to them, so I'm going to step out in front of you, and when I move, just follow my moves, and you end up with a choreographed mimic type, choreography, which with the doo-wop, it can turn the place upside down. Because people are cheering. Those tables where those people came from, where this woman came from, of course, are loving it.
Right.
And other people are cheering because they'd like to come up there too. But
well, we will have to experiment.
We will. That's why you're. But here's the thing. You can go ahead and get your Mexican-made Stratocaster. Is that what it is?
Telecaster.
But when we come to Myrtle Beach, ask Phil to bring his, because he has one.
For sure.
Therefore, you will have one to play.
Exactly. Sure.
Because you don't bring an instrument with you overseas.
No, normally I don't.
No. That's a hassle.
I did when I first started attending this particular event, and I was traveling with my golf clubs. This was coming from England even, back a long time ago. I was traveling with my golf clubs and my guitar case. And I remember, and this was in 2004, we'll say. And I remember walking down this long tunnel as you get out of the Charlotte airport after your luggage claim. There's this long hallway, sort of with a ramp down. And I remember this every time that I do this now. I was pushing my little cart down there, and down at the bottom was Al, and he said, "I see you brought your weapon of mass destruction." And I was like, "Dude, it's 2004. We're in an airport. You don't say that."
Oh, that's funny. Meaning your guitar?
Yeah.
Or meaning your golf club?
Both.
Your guitar?
Both, I guess.
Or both. Right. Who would know? Undifferentiated. I would say, I don't care. Whichever you want.
have a bit of Uruguayan news to leave us off with.
Oh,
Yes?
well, okay, yes.
So my daughter is learning this song to sing in this Christmas. I wouldn't call it a pageant, but they do this end of the year thing where they take the day off school and they do singing and songs and stuff. And it's by a Uruguayan artist. It's the name of the song is 12 Seconds, in Spanish, 12 segundos. And what I love about this is I live in a little fishing village, and this is a song that's like an ode to a lighthouse.
Huh.
And I wanted to share with you the lines of the chorus briefly. He sings, "A still lighthouse would be nothing. It guides us as long as it spins. The light is not really what matters. It's the 12 seconds of darkness. 12 seconds of darkness." Isn't that profound?
Yeah, it is.
It's the time between the blinks that are
Right.
when you're really
Right.
going somewhere. Anyway, this is a song I'll put in the show notes by Jorge Drexler, who is a Uruguayan otolaryngologist.
So you can't play a chord of it on air?
No, I
There's
don't
some-
know the chords. And
No, I don't mean play it. I mean, let us listen to it. How come we can't do that? That technology.
Because it's complicated to wire this sound back through. Like, I could play it on speakers or something, but I'll send you a link to it.
Lo que importa en verdad son los 12 segundos de oscuridad. 12 segundos de oscuridad.
I don't particularly love the song that much. No offense, Jorge, but
You just like the words.
He's an ear, nose, and throat doctor who became a musician, and he was the first person ever to win an Oscar for a song in Spanish.
Huh. Which was?
I think it was for Motorcycle Diaries. Was that a movie about South America?
Oh, I don't know.
He's a... Yeah. The name of the song was Al otro lado del río, on the other side of the river, from the Motorcycle Diaries. But anyway, he's a 55-year-old Latin pop doctor. And I thought, Uruguay, we need to mention this on the podcast.
No kidding.
Because...
Their numbers would shoot up.
Yes, so...
Be out of the 600s and into the 500s.
To all the Jorge fans out there...
Hello.
Hola.
¿Cómo está?
Okay.
Mucho gusto.
Good, very good. You got any more Spanish?
Muy bien.
Huh? Muy bien, muy bien.
That's it.
Okay.
That's it. So you know the story of Sister Charlie. She was a Spanish teacher that we hit her in the bonnet with the shoe.
Mm-hmm.
That was an episode that you can recall.
Yes.
Those were the fun days in high school. Those crazy things that we did. Oh my God. Indeed.
Yeah. The biggest trouble I got in high school was for running a network cable between two dorm rooms at my boarding school. Because we weren't allowed to, after lights out, we weren't supposed to be communicating.
Right.
Of course, now, Wi-Fi and cell phones blew that up, but back in the day, that wasn't
right.
so possible.
And so what did you get busted for?
I ran a network cable between out the window of my room, like 2 rooms over, to a friend who plugged it into his computer so we could play video games. And
Such a bandit.
Yeah, and you were out, gambling and whoring or whatever you were doing.
Well, it was after all high school, but so we would meet and on a weekend night, and this one guy that was in our high school was a real big dude. His name was Tom. Looked old, big dude. He could buy liquor, so he would get some liquor, fake ID, and we would meet, somewhere, sometimes at the high school, like in the dark on a Friday or Saturday night or near there. anyway, because we all lived within proximity. We all walked to high school. But we would have each a pint of some type of beverage, like orange mist or cherry mist or some vodka enhanced. And we would just chug it and then just go crazy stupid for an hour and a half and then stumble home and be in bed by 11. I mean, it was a binge drinking experience that was part of the ambiance of my hometown, which I mentioned is that 25,000 people and 50 bars. Mm-hmm. I mean, just wow. Amazing. So of course the coming of age was all about Pabst Blue Ribbon by the railroad tracks and getting a six-pack and popping that and then telling stories. Usually what we did, though, was we stood around and we insulted each other.
I think you mentioned that, yeah.
And that's what we would do. And whoever would out-insult, it would bring laughter or whatever, and, and when there were like 6 or 7 of us, all standing in a circle, popping beers and or even taking a shot out of a bottle, but 6 or 7 people, mm-hmm. all vying to insult each other more than the other one. And some of the guys, so funny. I mean, one of the guys who was in the group ended up being did a bit of stand-up comedy and ended up being a writer for some comedy shows because he was that funny. Mm-hmm. But, there were a bunch of very funny people there, and certain guys would be the butt of more of the insults or whatever, and
certainly aren't,
we picked, right, yeah.
Certainly aren't any parallels to getting together to drink and talk and insult a friend over a podcast for an hour. No parallels whatsoever.
None. What the fuck is wrong with you bringing that up?
I'm just.
What was that? What was that joke? Oh dear, I lost it. Oh well. Well.
That's the way, the ephemeral nature of jokes. They come and they go.
Well, and as this ever, the sweet, bitter, wonderful, sorrowful, joyful part of the evening is when I say, goodbye, Eric. This hour is over. I gotta go.
Adios to you, mi amigo.
I'm going to go to a restaurant with my wife. I was going to go alone as a Rodriguez, but decided against it.
Alrighty. We will talk to you soon, my friend.
See you, buddy.
Bye. Okay, that's a wrap on episode 36. Just want to remind you that you can go to happyhour.fm, and there you can find links to follow us on Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all of those great places. Also, the show notes will be at happyhour.fm/036. And we will see you next week. Oh, and the Patreon, patreon.com/happyhour. So, thank you very much, and see you next week. Goodbye.